Mhm. Yes. Guys, welcome back to the other session of BEEE. Yeah, so meanwhile, let the others get joined. Okay, right. Okay, so meanwhile, if you can listen to me, if the audio is uh, if my talk is audible to you, just confirm it in the chat box. Just anybody, and if you guys have any doubt, you can ask me in the chat box. Right. So Right, so hopefully today will be the last session for 15 it, right? So from next session onwards, most probably the other faculty will take over, right? So, right, okay, yeah, okay. So I will go to the previous classes what we discussed. Okay, right. Uh, I will come by. Right. So today we will discuss about torque slip characteristics of three-phase induction motor. That is what today's topic. And if that is completed, I will discuss losses in the case of induction motor. Right. So now we concluded that induction motor is an asynchronous machine. Why it is asynchronous? Because here A stands for it's a negative thing. Synchronous means so at the same time. So that means the induction machine cannot rotate at synchronous, cannot be able to rotate at synchronous speed. That is why it is also known as asynchronous machine. Right. This thing we discussed, right? So and then we discussed about construction. So as like other all the rotating machines, it does also have stator and rotor. Stator will have stator winding, that is three-phase winding. Rotor will have rotor winding, right? And there are two types of rotors. One is squirrel gauge and another one is slip ring or wound rotor. Squirrel gauge rotor, the terminals are not available outside, and the slip ring rotor, the terminals will be available outside. So you have a feasibility of connecting whatever the resistance you want to connect to, right? So this thing we will discuss today, right? So by connecting external rotor resistance, how do we get some advantages? What are the advantages we get, right? Because if you want to connect external resistance, you have to use slip rings and you have to use brushes. So the maintenance cost goes high. So but still, why you want to go for slip ring induction motor? Because you can increase the starting torque, right? So that's the case, right? So and then we discussed about rotating magnetic field and how does a rotating magnetic field rotates. And so the ns is nothing but synchronous speed, that is stator field speed, right? 120 f by p, where f is stator supply frequency, and here we said induction machine is singly excited, whereas dc motor is doubly excited. Why? Because here the rotor is not connected to any supply, only stator winding is connected to supply, right? So that's it. If you want to reverse the rotation of RMF, rotating magnetic field, you have to change the phase sequence. Instead of RYB, you have to make it RBY. So and the magnitude of rotating magnetic field is 1.5 times pi m, right? So and then we discussed the principle of operation, that is it works on induction principle, right? So you give three-phase supply, then we will give three-phase supply to a three-phase winding. Then what happens? Then rotating magnetic field produced, then that goes and cuts the stationary rotor conductors, which obviously makes the motor to rotate, right? Of course the motor rotates, but it cannot able to rotate at the speed at which the stator field is rotating. So that's why it will rotate at slightly lesser speed. So it will slip away with stator field. That is why this is known as slip speed. And what is slip? That is a slip speed to the synchronous speed. Ns minus nr is the slip speed. Ns minus nr is the slip speed. And to the synchronous speed, slip speed to the synchronous speed is known as slip. If you multiplied with 100, you would get percentage slip. Okay, okay. So this is all we seen. And rotor frequency means that is slip times stator frequency. And we seen some different speeds also. Okay, so right. And then torque equation, some problems, right? So that's all we seen, right? Okay, fine. So now today in the by the last class, somehow if you follow the PPT, if you see the PPT once again, you could understand one thing, right? So that is, this is what torque equation, and this is what, if you differentiate this equation with respect to rotor resistance R2, you would get this condition, that is for maximum torque, where the maximum torque occurs. That is what this is the condition. Now I am taking these two equations for today's class. Okay, so if you are not understood how these two equations are got, so I have tried my level best to explain these equations. How did we get those equations? By explaining the series RL circuit. I have used series RL circuit also, right? So you try to follow this PPT, then you would easily understand. Now for today's class, I will be taking these two equations. Okay, right? So that is a rotor torque and condition for maximum torque. I will take these two and I will explain how this torque slip characteristics would get, right? So that is what today's class, right? Torque slip characteristics, right? So and uh, as the strength is only 43, so strength has come down drastically, right? Okay, okay. Mute all. Yes. Okay, okay. Right. So okay, no problem. Right. So now I'm going to the slideshow. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Now you know there's a small problem before going to the task slip characteristics. Okay, so today, uh, if you could excuse me, if you could allow me, I will take extra time also. That means 1 hour. So far I haven't gone more than 40 minutes. I have not taken more than 40 minutes. But today is last class, right? So I will try to take some time, some more time. Okay. So I hope you would allow me, right? So now take this, right? So these two are the equations I would use for drawing the task slip characteristics. Okay, so before that you need to know what is exactly the slip means, right? Okay, right. So now see, uh, calculate. So all of you, if you have a calculators, right? Otherwise, you might be watching in the mobile, right? So you can use another window for you can open calculator in your mobile itself. You try to calculate the slip for these different speeds. So now see, calculate the slip value at different speeds for a 6-pole induction motor which is operating at 50 Hz. Okay, so this is a number of poles is given, frequency is given. First you calculate ns, synchronous speed. Calculate ns. What is ns? Ns is equal to root. You could tell me in the chat box what's the value of ns. Ns, first calculate ns and we should fill this table, right? We should fill this table. That's what my intention is, right? Right, what is the value of ns? Ns value, what is the formula for ns? Ns is equal to 120 into f by p, right? What is f? F is 50 Hz. 120 into 50, that is 6000 RPM divided by P6. So if you cancel, that means you would get NS as, yes, I got some responses also, that is 1000 RPM. This is it. I got NS as 1000 RPM. Okay, right. So now I got NS as 1000 RPM. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so right. So you have NS now. This is NR, right? This is NR. What is NR here? Here NR is 0. So that means what is the value of slip over here? That's what I want. So let's fill this table. Okay. Okay, what would be the value of this? If NR is 0, NS by NS, slip is equal to 1, right? So now this one, when NR is 100 RPM, what would be the value of slip? So that is 1000 minus 100 divided by 1000 minus 100 means 900 divided by 1000. So what would be this? 0.9, and this would be, if you see, 0.8, and this would be 900. 1000 minus 900, so that means 100 divided by 1000. 100 divided by 1000 means that is 0.1. And if NR is equal to 1000 RPM, so of course it is not possible, but it's okay, right? Yeah, I got plenty of responses. Okay, guys, good, 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 good. Okay, so it is just a simple formula, right? But it's a very easy thing, but still I need not to discuss here, but still I am discussing because uh, you need to know the slip, the relation between slip and rotor speed. Okay, so right now all of you see what is the value of slip at starting. At starting, what is the value of slip? That is 1, right? So because at starting, you can see, okay, let me draw something, right? At starting, speed is 0 RPM, but so the slip value is 1. Okay, and so 100, what is the rated speed? That is 1000 RPM. The maximum speed is almost nearer to 1000 RPM. Almost nearer to 1000 RPM. Now see, here my motto is, so these three, 0, 100, 200 are the speeds which are nearer to starting. Okay, when the motor about to start, what would be the value of slip? It is nearer to 1 during starting. During starting, slip value is nearer to 1. During running conditions, that is when it is nearer to 1900 RPM, the slip value is very, very low. The slip value is very, very low. That is 0, 0 0.1, 0.2, like that. That is the case. Okay. So now by this we go to, right. So these values, you remember these values. Okay. So during starting, slip values are high, right? During running, slip values are low, right? So now I will, let me clear off all the things, right? So this thing goes okay. Now I will just copy this equation, Control C, right? I will just open Paint. Okay, so right. Okay, guys, guys, uh right. So, and let me paste the equation. This is the equation, right? And let me take this equation also, Control C. Okay, so if you are not understood how these two equations are got, so that's okay, that's another story. You see, I'm just picking up these two equations and I am explaining how to draw the torque slip characteristics. Okay, so if it is on a blackboard, if you are presented in normal class, it would be very much easier, but this is somewhat difficult to explain over here. That's why I'm using Paint. Okay, right. So this is it. Okay, right, right. torque slip characteristics. Okay, guys. Now on the y-axis, let's consider it as torque. Okay. So and on the x-axis, that is what we have to consider slip. So now you see what is the value of slip over here? S equal to 0 RPM. And let's say at this particular instant, S equal to 1. Okay, guys, now tell me what are the values of rotor speed at these two instants. Okay, this is the case. I want, let me minimize somehow. Okay, so there is only 100 or 50% zoom. Okay, guys, now you can see the screen. Okay, right. So now see on the x-axis I have taken slip. So when I am moving from origin to on the when I'm walking on the x-axis, I will be increasing with slip. So slip is 0 and slip is 1 here. Now my question is, what is the value of rotor speed when the slip is equal to 0? So that's it. So now you could tell me. So when the slip is 0, what is the value of rotor speed? So we seen it in the PPT. No, no, not thousand, not thousand. Of course, yes. That is NS RPM. You see, when slip is equal to 0, what is the NR? Here it is 1000. That means this question, what is 1000 RPM? That is NS. Okay, fine. So that means here it is NR is equal to NS. Fine. Okay, right. So now see, when slip is equal to 1, guys, see, when slip is equal to 1, right? So that means what is the value of NR? That is 0 RPM. 0 RPM. Okay, fine. Okay, so this thing you understood, right? So now see, all of you see one thing. Let me change the color, okay, for your convenience, for better understanding. This is what the slip. Now you see, if I want to represent the speed on the x-axis, then the x-axis speed will be like this. It's in the reverse direction. You can see the screen. This is what NR, because it is slip s equal to 1. That means here you have 0 RPM. Here you have 0 RPM. Right. So that means the speed will be increasing in this direction. This is the one point. This is the one point which I want to tell you guys. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Now, now. Okay. So all of you see. Okay, sorry. Right. Okay. Now see. First thing. This is slip equal to 0. Okay, so now let me take this equation. Otherwise, let me take the equation from here again. Control C. Yeah, let me paste it here. No problem. Yeah, right. So now see, guys, all of you, hope you have some patience, right? So now see, what is the value of slip? First I want to draw the slip characteristics, right? S is equal to 0. So that means for lower speeds, when S is equal to 0, S is equal to 0.1, S is equal to 0.2, like that, right? So here you see in the denominator section, S into x2 whole square. S means that is nearer to 0, that is 0.1 square. It would be very less. So SX2 term will be neglected. SX2 term will be neglected because value of slip is very, very less. So compared to R2, SX2 term will be neglected. Okay, fine. Right. So now you have what 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 do you have? You have only R2 square, right? So now you see this R2 and this R2 square. So that means square get cancelled and here R2 will also get cancelled, right? And now you see what is remaining. TR, torque is proportional to S divided by R2. S divided by R2 when this is when slip is equal to 0 or approximately equal to 0, right? So guys, you just let me know in the chat box if you have any difficulty in this particular slip nearer to 0, this particular equation, right? So hope if you understood, then I will proceed. You just confirm me in the chat box, right? So anyone understood this? How I have written this particular thing? TR is proportional to S slip by R2, right? So did you understand this? Did you understand this? Right. So yes, sir. Yes, sir. Only okay. Please say once again. Please say once again. Guys, you see, this is a slip. When slip is almost equal to 0 or nearer to 0, what is here? S into x2 whole square. So there is 0.1 whole square will be very, very less, 0.01. So compared to that, so R2 square will be very high. So Sx2 is makes 0. So this R2 square, R2 becomes R2 in the denominator. That's it. So this Sx2 term will get becomes 0, almost negligible. Okay, so that is the case. That is why I neglected that. Right. So now let's take when S is equal to 1 or approximately equal to 1. That means then what will happen? Then what will happen? Right. Right. So now see, otherwise, let me copy from here again. Control C. Right. This is the equation. This is the equation. Now see what will happen. Here now S is approximately equal to 1. So now this time compared to R2 square, Sx2, generally x2 value is far greater than R2 value. Guys, listen, x2 value is far greater than R2 value, right? But here x2 is somehow multiplied with s, right? So whereas here, so in this case R2 value is far less than compared to Sx2 square because s value is very high, it is almost nearer to 1. So compared to R2, x2 is high, so obviously R2 is neglected. Now see Sx2 square. So now here if you see this equation, I will write the equation. Now T R, for T proportional to S square. So that would be R2. In the numerator, you will have R2, right? R2 divided by, and in here S square and S. So you get only S in the denominator and S x2 square. Right. So this is it. This is it. Okay. So right. So now see, I will make some dots over here. So these are the two conditions. These are the two equations. These are the two equations. Right. Y equation 1, equation 2. These are some conditions. These are some conditions. With these two, I will try to plot the arc slip characteristics. Okay, so that is what the case, right? So now see, there would be some maximum torque. There would be some maximum torque. Then S is equal to, I'm just rearranging this equation, R2 divided by X2. So this is where the condition maximum torque. So let's say this is the maximum torque point somewhere, right? So and now this is slip at equal to 1. So this is what the some rectangular box I got. Okay. Hope right. So guys. Okay. Now see, S is equal to 0. So we start from here, right? If S is equal to 0, torque is proportional to S. You keep S equal to 0. So then what will happen? Torque is also equal to 0. So the curve starts from here, right? And torque is proportional to slip. So if the slip is increasing, torque is also increasing. So that means it would be definitely a straight line, So and it touches this curve, this point where this value is torque maximum, T max, right? So this is the case. This is a straight line during S equal to 0. Now after this, at this point, what is the value of slip? What is the value of slip? You see, this is what the equation we write, right? This is SM1. Let's write this as uh, SM1, where SM1 is equal to R2 by X2. Now see, after this point, slip values are high, right? Slip values are high, and when its extreme is slip value is 1. So that means when the slip values are high, you go to second equation, this one, right? Torque is, you see, inversely proportional to slip. Torque is inversely proportional to slip. That means if the slip is increasing, what will happen to torque? Torque will decrease. So this is what the curve. So this is where that are sleep characteristics, right? So now see, this is at some color. Let's say, let me change the color. This is uh, for R2 dash. Okay, this is for some rotor resistance. Now uh, there are two types of rotors, guys. Are you getting? So how we find torque maximum? That's you have a torque equation. This is the torque equation, and you have this condition R2 equal to SX2, right? You substitute R2 equal to SX2 over here, you will get maximum torque, right? So that is the case, right? So that's a thing, right? Please say once again, sir. Please say once again, sir. Yeah, this better you see it, right? Just the manipulation of the equation, right? So now all of you see one thing, right? So there's a one question. I'm going to ask you one question, right? There are two types of rotors, okay? In which rotor you can add external resistance? In which type of rotor you can add external resistance? In which type of rotor? The induction motor is having two types of rotors. Which type of rotor we can add external resistance, right? So that is what my question, right? Yeah, in the starting of the class also I told you, right? Yeah, please do answer. And meanwhile, if you have any doubts, right? So obviously you will definitely ask me to explain it once again, right? Uh, yeah, explaining it once again. Yeah, at the end of the class, I will definitely explain. Okay, fine. Right. So let me proceed. You try to follow. Right. So right. Yes. The slip ring rotor is the one in which we can add external resistance. So now here you see the equation 1 which I have taken R2 and equation 2 which I have taken, that is R2. What is R2? Rotor resistance only, right? So that means here, if you, I can make the, by using slip ring rotor, I can have any value of extra resistance I want. Okay, so right. So that's why, right. So here, let's say this is R2 dash. Now let's say if I increase the rotor resistance value, let's say coming to R2, right? So hope you can see here, R2 double dash is greater than R2 dash. Guys, okay? So this is the condition, right? So this curve, which I have already drawn, is for R2 dash. Let's say R2 dash is 1 ohm or 10 ohms. Now R2 double dash is definitely greater than R2 dash. Then how the curve will be, right? So that's the case. Now you see, first the second equation for slip nearer to 1. So that means slip is nearer to 1. What is here? Arc is proportional to R2. Arc is proportional to R2. That means here R2 double dash, the yellow line. So right now I am drawing. So right, so which will be above the R2 dash line, right? So now see, so and here this is below this, right? Why it is like this? You have to observe that, you have to observe. There are many points to observe here. Okay, if I'm keep on explaining all these points, that's very difficult for you guys to absorb all those points, right? It is very difficult to absorb. You cannot take all those points, right? So that's why it's very difficult, right? So but you see here, this is the portion where slip value is approximately equal to 1 or higher values of slip. So this is the equation. Here arc is proportional to R2. So here R2 dash, you see R2 dash double dash is greater than R2 dash. That means this yellow line is having when rotor resistance is higher. So it's directly proportional. I have increased. That's why here the yellow line is above the green line. That's fine, right? But what happens after that period, after this period? So that means after it reaching maximum torque, what suddenly happens? What made it to shift below the green line? This is, let's say, SM2, right? So now see, this is below lower values of slip. That means here lower values of slip. What is the value? What is the relation between torque and rotor resistance? It is inversely proportional now, right? Previously here R2 dash is smaller. Now R2 double dash is higher compared to this. That's why it comes below the green line. So that is it. Now you see SM is R2 by X2, right? So here what happens? R2 dash, so here SM1 is R2 dash by X2, SM2 is R2 double dash by X2. That is why SM2 is higher. SM2 is higher. So now that means the maximum torque occurring position. So this is one speed, this is another speed. Okay, so guys, have some patience. Okay, so be I'm making it clear once again, right? So what is SM2? This is slip at maximum torque for R2 dash rotor resistance. And what is SM1? This is SM1, right? This is slip at maximum torque when rotor resistance is R2 dash, right? You compare these two lines, these two characteristics, the green line and yellow line. What has changed? The only change is the position at which maximum torque occurring. The position at which maximum torque occurring, that is only changing. But is the value of maximum torque changing? The maximum torque is constant. The maximum torque is constant. The maximum torque value doesn't change. What is changing? only the position at which maximum torque changes, right? So that is what the point which I want to say, right? Now let's say, let me change another color. Let me change another color, right? So let's say I want to increase rotor resistance further. R2 dash 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 triple dash, right? So which makes my curve, let's say, starts at this point only, right? So now you see, guys, this blue line, that is R2 triple dash, a very high rotor resistance. This is very, very special. Why? Because this the maximum torque is occurs when slip is equal to 1. Maximum torque occurs when slip is equal to 1. When slip equal to 1 means what is the rotor speed? We have written here. Rotor speed is 0. So that means at the starting itself, if you want higher and higher starting torque, at the starting itself, if you want a very high starting torque, so you have to keep very high value of rotor resistance, that is R2 triple dash. The R2 triple dash is greater than R2 double dash and R2 dash. This is what the torque slip characteristics of three-phase induction motor. Okay, right. I am just saving the file because we are running out of time. Okay, there is only 3 minutes for this session. Okay, so and you, meanwhile, you tell me in the chat box, should I explain another topic by taking some more time, or should I have to end up the session? You tell me in the chat box. It's up to you guys, right? If you want me to tell, you just reply in the chat box, right? Or if you want me to explain this again, I will explain, and I will explain other topic also, right? But I want, there are 48 participants. Okay, at least I am expecting a reply from 30. Okay, so the 30 members have to respond. Then only I will explain. Otherwise, I don't want to explain. Okay, right? So today will be last session, right? Okay. Meanwhile, I will save the file. Yeah, yeah, I have saved it somewhere. Talk slip curves. Yes, this is it. This is it. Yeah. Still, yes, sir. Continue, sir. Need next class. What explain, sir? Explain. Explain R3 double dash. There is no R3 double dash. Oh, there's a long, sir. If you substitute R2 equal to X2, then the torque becomes, what are the values of E2 and X2 to know maximum torque in graph? Sir, if you substitute R2. Yeah, yeah, from Sai, right? Sai, you typed, you asked a question, if R2 equal to X2, right? It is not X2, my friend. If you substitute R2 equal to X2, that means you are making S equal to 1, right? So there's a doubt, guys. Listen, right? So before that, okay, all of you, if the session ends up, I will immediately start another session. You please join that meeting, okay, without wasting time. Right, immediately, right? Meanwhile, so here one question from Sai, right? So he was asking R2 equal to X2. If you are substituting R2 equal to X2, that means you are making S equal to 1. That means you want maximum torque at starting itself. And you are asking about E2 and X2. So in the problem, they will give you all those details, right? So that's it. Okay, okay, guys. Okay, right, right. That's it. That's it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm just ending up the session. Right. So you just, without wasting time, again join that session too. Right. Okay.